Welcome to Void Realities. Here, the night is not a place of noise, but a gentle horizon of calm. If you struggle to fall asleep, or if your mind drifts restlessly in the dark, this space is made for you. Tonight, we invite you to lie back, breathe slowly, and let your body grow heavier with each passing moment. As the world grows quiet, we'll wander together into stories of the unexplained, tales of strange lights, rare encounters, and the mysteries that hum beneath the stars. These are not stories of fear, but of gentle wonder. They are crafted to soothe your mind, slow your breath, and guide you toward deep rest. So close your eyes and let the rhythm of these words carry you. This is UFO and alien stories for sleep, rare encounters for relaxation, a journey into mystery, and a soft path toward your dreams. UFO and alien stories for sleep, rare encounters for relaxation. You lie beneath the sky, and it feels like an endless sea drawn across the world. Stars rest upon its surface like quiet lanterns, each one a silent memory carried across unimaginable distances. The air is still, and within that stillness you notice the way your breath rises and falls, as if your body is keeping time with the universe itself. The night seems alive, not loud or insistent, but alive in its calm, pulsing way. When you look upward, you are looking not just at light, but at time itself. Every star is a story that left long ago, traveling at the speed of light to reach your eyes. Some of those stories began before humans walked the earth, before oceans carved the shorelines you know. It is humbling, and in that humility, a quiet peace begins to open within you. Across centuries, people have felt this same pull. Shepherds on distant hills, sailors at sea, children in villages without electricity, all found themselves gazing at the sky, wondering if they were alone. And sometimes, among the gentle scatter of stars, they saw something unexpected. Lights that moved when they should have stood still, shapes that glowed brighter than they ought to, colors shifting in ways that unsettled the ordinary rhythm of night. You imagine yourself there, centuries ago, standing shoulder to shoulder with those before you. Their language is different, their lives simpler, but their wonder is the same as yours. The strange light they described might have been a meteor, the silent fall of a fragment of space dust burning against the atmosphere. Or it might have been something less easily named, an aurora perhaps, or a trick of the eye in the low light. Yet to them, it became part of the great story of the sky, whispered from one generation to the next. Science, too, listens to these whispers. Astronomers speak of photons, tiny particles of light streaming into the eye, sparking patterns across the retina, which the brain then turns into meaning. When you think you see a star twinkle, it is the atmosphere bending those photons ever so slightly. When you see a shooting star, it is dust no larger than a grain of sand igniting into brilliance as it collides with the air. The sky seems mysterious, and it is, but it is also precise, ruled by laws that remain steady and knowable. Still, there are moments when what is seen does not fit what is expected. Pilots, scientists, and ordinary people alike have reported lights that pause in impossible ways, that dart with sudden speed, or that appear without a clear cause. These accounts invite not only curiosity, but also comfort, the comfort that mystery remains, even in an age of satellites and telescopes. Mystery is not an error to be erased. It is a doorway to wonder. You close your eyes and imagine the sky as a great library. Each star is a book, each planet a chapter, each wandering comet a fleeting poem. Most of what is written here is clear, studied, and understood. Yet between the shelves there are blank pages, spaces waiting to be filled. The lights that whisper in unexpected ways are not disturbances. They are the spaces where the story grows. Your breathing is slow now, matching the rhythm of thought. Science teaches that the brain, in the quiet of night, organizes and restores itself, sorting memories and weaving meaning. Sleep is its own kind of mystery, and as you drift closer to it, you feel how similar it is to watching the stars. Both are journeys inward as much as outward. The sky does not need to be fully explained for it to bring peace. In fact, the unknown is part of the calm. It allows you to rest in curiosity, to surrender the need for answers, and to dwell in the beauty of not knowing everything. Each unanswered question becomes a soft pillow for the mind. Above you, the night hums. You are part of this vastness, stitched gently into the fabric of the cosmos. You are both small and essential, like one star among many. And as you rest, you realize that the mystery of the sky is not just out there, but also within you. Your mind, your dreams, your own uncharted thoughts. The stars remain. The sky whispers, and in its whispers, you hear the beginning of a story. One that will carry you beyond this moment, into the next horizon of mystery, where silence itself prepares the way for what is yet to be seen. There is a kind of quiet that arrives just before something unknown appears. You feel it in the body, the way your shoulders loosen when the world holds its breath, the way your heartbeat softens as if listening. This calm is not emptiness, it is preparation. It is the pause before the horizon reveals what has been waiting just beyond your sight. Across centuries, communities have known this feeling. Imagine yourself standing in a small village centuries ago where the nights were darker than any you have ever known, unbroken by streetlights or electric glow. The stars filled the sky so completely that they became the ceiling of every story told. You stand among villagers who gather in the open field, their eyes fixed on a pattern of lights that does not belong to the familiar constellations. Their voices are low, uncertain, as they describe what they see, a glimmer, a shifting, a movement out of place. These stories are fragile, yet they endure. Oral traditions carried them from generation to generation. In some accounts, the strange lights became omens of fortune or misfortune. In others, they became guardians or warnings. For ancient people, the horizon was not a line of land and sea. It was a boundary between the known and the unknown, a place where gods, spirits, and mysteries dwelled. Science gives us another lens. The calm before a sighting. That shared stillness might be the brain sharpening its focus. Your nervous system is wired to notice change, to pay attention when patterns shift. When something unexpected moves against the rhythm of the stars, your body enters a subtle alertness. This is not fear, but a state of openness. The calm before the horizon expands is the body's way of saying, watch, learn, remember. Consider meteors, for instance. Long before they were explained as fragments of rock entering the atmosphere, they appeared as streaks of light, sudden and brilliant, across a dark sky. For those who saw them, they were signs, messages, or symbols. In reality, a meteor is nothing more than space debris, igniting in a burst of friction as it collides with Earth's air. Yet knowing this does not take away its wonder. The beauty remains, even as the explanation unfolds. And then there are auroras, the curtains of green, pink, and violet that ripple in polar skies. Today, we know they arise from charged particles of the solar wind colliding with the Earth's magnetic field. But imagine being a villager in the far north, seeing the sky painted in shifting colors. It would have felt like the heavens themselves were alive, breathing and speaking in silence. The calm before such a sight was not only physical, but spiritual, as if the world paused to prepare for beauty too vast for words. You feel this calm even now when you read stories of those who have witnessed unusual lights. Pilots describe the silence of their cockpits before a sudden glow. Astronomers at telescopes note the breathless pause before recording something they cannot easily classify. The pattern repeats. Quiet first, then mystery. It is as if the unknown respects the stillness, announcing itself only when the world grows hushed enough to notice. Your own body responds the same way. As you settle into rest, your breathing slows, your muscles loosen, and your mind prepares to drift into the horizon of sleep. The calm is not an ending, but a threshold. Just as villagers once watched the edge of the sky for stories, you now prepare to cross your own horizon of dreams, where perception will shift and new forms of meaning may emerge. Each tale of lights passed down across centuries becomes a lantern itself, flickering softly in the dark corridors of memory. Even if the lights were only meteors, auroras, or atmospheric tricks, the feeling they inspired was real. The hush before the sight, the awe that followed, the questions that lingered. Science explains the mechanism, but wonder explains the human heart. Both belong together. You stand now at the edge of this calm, aware that the horizon is always larger than what you see. Beyond it, lights wait to whisper their presence. Beyond it, stories wait to be told again. The pause before discovery is a gift. It slows you, centers you, and reminds you that mystery begins in stillness. And as the air grows quiet, you notice again that same sensation, as if the night itself leans closer. Something will appear soon, not in alarm, but in wonder. And when it does, you will remember that this calm is not empty silence. It is the gentle opening of the sky, preparing you for lights that should not be there, yet somehow always find a way to return. The sky is a familiar map, and yet sometimes it holds shapes that do not belong. You have seen how stars return each night in their steady constellations, how planets drift slowly along their ancient paths. But then, without warning, a light appears where none should be, a glow that shifts, lingers, or darts away in silence. These are the moments that invite both wonder and unease, the times when the sky seems to remind you that it is not as simple as you thought. Across deserts, unusual lights have been reported for centuries. Travelers on horseback once spoke of glowing orbs that hovered near the horizon, following them at a distance. Scientists today might explain such sightings as ball lightning, a rare phenomenon in which plasma forms during electrical storms. Ball lightning can drift, wobble, and vanish in ways that seem almost alive. To those who saw it long ago, it must have seemed like a companion or a watcher in the dark. On the coasts, sailors told stories of lights dancing above the water. Some of these were St. Elmo's fire, a bluish glow caused by electrical charge building up on the masts of ships. Others may have been reflections of stars or distant fires, bending strangely across the surface of waves. Yet in the stillness of night, far from land, these lights became signs, symbols, and mysteries. A sailor might see them as protection, another as warning, but all agreed they felt otherworldly. Forests, too, have their strange illuminations. You may have heard of will-o'-the-wisps, faint flickers of light that appear in marshy ground. Science traces them to gases, methane and phosphine, that rise from decaying plants and ignite in contact with air. But when you walk through a quiet wood, the rational explanation fades in the presence of the glow itself. The lights seem to beckon, playful and unsettling, leading you deeper into the unknown. Your mind, like every human mind, is quick to seek meaning. When you see something out of place, your perception stretches to fill the gap. A bright planet low in the sky may shimmer and change color as the atmosphere bends its light. A satellite may move steadily, seeming too fast for a star, too slow for a plane. Yet in the moment of seeing, it feels extraordinary, something that should not be there and yet is. Psychologists call this the power of expectation. When you anticipate the ordinary, the unusual strikes you more deeply. Imagine walking the same path each night, seeing the same stars overhead. Then one night, a new light shines, faint, pulsing, or moving. Your senses heighten, your attention sharpens, and you remember the moment long after. Whether the light has a simple cause or not, the memory grows larger than the event itself. The body plays a role too. Your eyes are most sensitive in dim light, but they also play tricks when pushed to their limits. A faint glow may appear to drift as your gaze shifts. A flash of lightning beyond the horizon may reflect in the clouds long after the storm is gone. These illusions are not failures of vision. They are reminders that seeing is not passive. Your mind constructs what it believes to be there, layering perception with interpretation. And yet, not all lights can be so easily explained. Some reports describe sudden movements, zigzags, stops and starts that seem beyond the ability of natural phenomena. Pilots and scientists have catalogued such cases, aware that the explanations may lie in atmospheric effects, advanced technology, or in questions still unanswered. The mystery persists, not as a flaw in knowledge, but as a reminder that the sky is always larger than our understanding. You breathe into this awareness. The lights may be ordinary, plasma, gas, reflections, or tricks of the eye. Or they may be something more, something waiting at the edge of recognition. Either way, the experience is real, the quiet shock of noticing, the way the heart slows for a moment, the way the mind drifts between certainty and wonder. The night sky is a mirror, and the lights that shouldn't be there are part of its reflection. They are questions glowing softly against the darkness, waiting not to be solved immediately, but to be felt. And as you lean into that feeling, you realize the horizon of knowledge is not a wall, but an invitation. In the calm of night, you wonder, if the eye can be tricked, what does that mean for truth? And if truth itself is sometimes hidden in perception, how does science gently step closer, measuring, testing, and trying to see what the mind alone cannot? As you drift deeper into the rhythm of night, your body grows heavy, but your mind remains softly awake. You notice how your eyes, even closed, seem to hold an afterglow, as if the world of light lingers inside. Science begins here, at the delicate edge where perception and imagination meet. Your eyes are simple instruments, yet profound. Each one is a curved lens, bending light so it can touch the back of your retina. There, tiny cells, rods and cones, translate brightness and color into electrical signals. Those signals travel along the optic nerve, carried like whispers into the brain. You never see light itself. You see only the brain's interpretation, the quiet translation of photons into meaning. Think of it this way. A photon that began its journey in the heart of a star strikes your eye. It has traveled for millions of years, crossing empty space, slipping past planets and dust. And in less than a second, your brain turns it into the sight of a star twinkling. You're not just looking. You are receiving ancient messages woven into the fabric of light, yet this process is imperfect. Your eyes are sensitive, but they are not flawless. In low light, they stretch their capacity, amplifying signals and sometimes inventing patterns that aren't there. This is why stars appear to flicker when they do not, and why faint lights may seem to move when your gaze shifts. Science calls this visual noise, but you might think of it as the sky's way of breathing. Your brain, too, plays tricks. It does not simply record what you see. It edits, guesses, and fills gaps. When a light streaks across the sky faster than anything you know, your brain searches for an explanation. Is it a meteor, a plane, something else entirely? The mind resists blank spaces. It stitches together a story, even when information is incomplete. This stitching is not deception. It is survival, the way your nervous system makes the world coherent enough to trust. Consider the atmosphere, that invisible ocean surrounding the Earth. It bends light, splits it, distorts it. Distant stars shimmer because their light is bent by currents of air. A planet near the horizon may glow red or green, not because it has changed, but because the atmosphere has tinted its light. In these distortions, some of the strangest sightings arise. What seems like a pulsing orb may be the planet Venus, magnified by the restless air. What looks like a darting flash may be a reflection, bouncing between layers of cloud and ground. But science does not dismiss wonder, it deepens it. To know that a faint light is a particle of dust igniting in the sky is not to diminish its beauty. It is to appreciate its journey. To learn that an aurora is the result of solar winds colliding with Earth's shield is to feel awe not only at its colors, but at the invisible dance of charged particles shaping the heavens. Knowledge does not replace mystery, it reshapes it into new forms. And yet, there are always moments that resist easy explanation. Reports of lights that accelerate beyond known technology or that hover with impossible stillness remain. Science approaches these with caution, gathering data, refining instruments, trying to separate illusion from evidence. But even here, in the careful language of measurements, there is room for curiosity. The unknown is not a failure, it is a frontier. As you lie in the quiet, your mind mirrors this process. Sleep is not the absence of awareness, but a shifting of its form. In dreams, your brain interprets signals from within, weaving fragments of memory into stories. Just as the eye turns photons into meaning, the dreaming mind turns emotions and thoughts into images. Both are translations at the edge of perception. Both are invitations to explore. You breathe deeply, letting the idea settle. Science is not the opposite of wonder. It is its companion, walking beside it in the dark. Together, they remind you that the world is larger than your senses, and that every question you ask is a doorway, not a wall. At the edge of sleep, you sense it clearly, the calm of the body, the curiosity of the mind, and the endless sky waiting to be seen. You are both observer and participant, both dreamer and scientist, and as you let yourself drift, you feel the next question forming gently. If science explains what we see, how does it explain what we feel when many see together, when belief and doubt intertwine beneath the same lights? You remember how it feels to notice something unexpected in the sky. At first, there is awe. Your breath catches, your body leans slightly forward as though reaching toward the light. Then, almost immediately, another feeling stirs. A thread of caution, a question that whispers, "What if?" Within you, two currents flow together, wonder and fear, inseparable, shaping your experience of the unknown. This balance has always been part of being human. Early people looked up at eclipses and comets, awed by the beauty and unsettled by their rarity. The wonder opened their imagination, while fear urged them to assign meaning, to see these events as signs of change. To be human is to live in this space between curiosity and caution, where the unknown is both a gift and a warning. Psychology explains why these feelings rise together. Your brain is wired for survival, tuned to notice unusual patterns. A sudden glow in the sky may trigger the amygdala, the part of your brain that responds to threat. It quickens your pulse, sharpens your attention, prepares you to act. At the same time, your prefrontal cortex, the region of thought and reflection, awakens with curiosity, searching for explanations. You're both cautious and fascinated, ready to run, but also eager to stay and see. Group sightings intensify this. When many people notice the same light, each person's emotions ripple into the others. A child's gasp of awe can soften fear. A shout of alarm can deepen it. Psychologists call this emotional contagion, the way feelings spread silently among people. In such moments, the light in the sky is not the only thing witnessed. What is also seen is the mirror of human response, amplified across the crowd. This duality, fear and wonder, shapes the stories we tell. A light may be remembered as beautiful, inspiring tales of guidance from the heavens, or it may be recalled as ominous, sparking legends of danger. The event itself is the same, but the emotions surrounding it become the lens through which memory is formed. You carry this too. Your strongest memories are rarely neutral. They are charged with the pulse of feeling. Science offers more insights into this balance. Fear, when gentle, can sharpen perception, making details more vivid. Wonder, on the other hand, opens the mind to possibility, lowering the walls of certainty. Together, they create fertile ground for meaning. When you encounter something unexplained, your body ensures you will not forget it. Your heart beats faster, your senses heighten, your mind stretches. This is why strange lights linger in memory long after they fade. Think of the night sky as a stage and the unusual light as a brief performance. Wonder draws your gaze upward. Fear holds you there, and together they ensure the moment becomes part of your story. Even if later explained by science, the emotional truth remains. The way you felt alive, alert, connected to something larger than yourself. Cultures across the world have harnessed this psychology. Myths and rituals often emerge from events that evoke awe mixed with fear. A comet becomes a sign from the gods. An eclipse becomes a moment when the world is vulnerable. These interpretations are not mistakes. They are natural expressions of the human mind seeking to weave feeling into meaning. Even today, when satellites and astronomy explain much of the sky, the psychology remains. People who see a sudden light darting across the horizon may feel their bodies respond before their thoughts can. The heart does not wait for data. It reacts to possibility. Science can explain, but emotion shapes the experience. You breathe slowly, realizing how natural this is. To feel both wonder and fear at once is not a contradiction. It is a balance, a way of being open to the unknown while staying grounded in the present. One without the other would be incomplete. Wonder without fear may drift into fantasy. Fear without wonder may shrink into dread. Together, they allow you to hold the mystery gently, without needing to resolve it too quickly. And so, as you lie beneath the stars, you notice both currents within you. Wonder softens you, inviting you to dream. Fear steadies you, reminding you to listen closely. They weave together like two strands of a single thread, forming the fabric of your memory. And in that fabric lies a deeper question. If fear and wonder shape the stories we keep, how do they shape the meaning we give to the mysteries that endure? The night sky has carried countless stories, and yet it never answers directly. Some people believe the unexplained lights are machines, vehicles from distant worlds crossing silently above. Others argue they are illusions of the night, tricks of atmosphere, reflections, or the fragile nature of human perception. Between these two perspectives lies a space where meaning takes root, a place where science and imagination meet. You live in that space every time you look up, feeling both curiosity and calm. Mystery itself has a rhythm. It arrives, lingers, and then fades, leaving behind questions that continue to echo. Your mind is not content with uncertainty, yet it does not always need certainty to rest. Instead, it seeks meaning. This is why stories form, why cultures weave myths from the patterns of stars, and why scientists dedicate lifetimes to unraveling the unexplained. The mystery of the sky is not only about what exists out there, it is about what it awakens within you. Consider the way people react to unusual lights. For some, the experience becomes evidence of something larger, proof of life beyond Earth, or a sign that we are not alone. For others, the same event sparks deeper reflection. Why do we long so much for contact? What does it mean to imagine ourselves visited? Whether the light is real or illusion, the meaning is deeply human, shaped by hope, fear, and wonder. Psychologists note that humans are natural pattern seekers. Your brain constantly looks for shapes in the unknown, connecting stars into constellations, clouds into figures, lights into narratives. This ability has helped survival. It allowed ancestors to see danger in the shadows, to read weather in the sky, to map the seasons by starlight. But this same ability also ensures that mystery never feels empty. Even when the cause of a light is ordinary, the experience still becomes a story layered with personal significance. Science and spirituality often seem to diverge here, yet in truth, they walk parallel paths. Science asks, what causes this light? What conditions allow it? What patterns repeat? Spiritual reflection asks, what does this light mean? Why do I feel drawn to it? Why does it stir something deep within me? Both questions are valid, both essential, and together they form a fuller picture of human experience. The philosopher's voice joins as well, reminding you that meaning is not always found in answers, but in the journey of asking. To lie beneath the sky, to witness what you cannot explain, is to be humbled and expanded at once. The mystery becomes part of your identity, shaping the way you see yourself in relation to the universe. It is no longer only about the light. It is about you, here, breathing beneath it. History shows this again and again. Comets that once inspired fear are now understood as icy travelers orbiting the sun. Yet the awe remains. Auroras, once seen as spirits or omens, are now explained by solar particles and magnetic fields. Yet still, when their colors ripple across the sky, people fall silent. The explanation satisfies the mind, but the meaning rests in the heart. And what of the lights still unexplained? They remind you that knowledge is always incomplete. To live with mystery is not failure. It is participation in an unfolding story. Each generation sees further, measures more carefully, builds stronger instruments. But the horizon always retreats, inviting the next step. The unknown is not something to erase. It is the space where wonder grows. You breathe in this thought and let it settle. Perhaps the purpose of these lights, whether ordinary or extraordinary, is not to deliver answers, but to invite reflection. They remind you of your smallness, but also of your capacity to question, to dream, to imagine what lies beyond. They connect you with everyone who has ever looked up and wondered, from ancient villagers to modern scientists, from storytellers to seekers. As you drift closer to sleep, you notice how mystery softens into comfort. It asks nothing urgent of you, demands no quick resolution. It simply rests with you, like a quiet companion. The lights may never tell their full story, but their presence is enough to guide your thoughts inward into the vastness of your own mind. You are between mystery and meaning now, between the unexplained and the deeply felt. The sky does not resolve its secrets, and yet it leaves you at peace. And as you lie in this balance, you realize the story is not finished. It continues in the silence that follows, in the way wonder lingers, and in the gentle question that carries you onward. If mystery shapes meaning, then what does it mean to dream beneath the stars? The sky grows darker now, though it was never truly light. Stars remain, constant yet distant, quiet companions across the arc of night. You feel them less as points of fire and more as a soft hum, something steady, like the rhythm of your own breath. The mysteries you have followed do not vanish. They rest with you, folded into the silence of sleep. Not all questions ask for answers. Some are meant to guide you inward, reminding you that uncertainty is not emptiness, but possibility. The strange lights, the whispers of the unknown, the balance of wonder and fear, all of it is part of a larger rhythm, one that stretches far beyond the edges of thought. You carry it gently now, not as a burden, but as a lullaby. Science offers explanations, and imagination offers meaning, but together they remind you of something deeper, that to be human is to notice, to wonder, and to keep dreaming. You do not need to resolve the mystery tonight. You only need to rest in its presence, letting it soothe you with its quiet embrace. As your eyes grow heavy, the horizon becomes soft. The stories dissolve into silence, and the silence becomes sleep. You are carried like a drifting ship, guided not by certainty, but by calm. The night is wide, the stars are steady, and you are safe within their glow.